please say yes, because
we can hear you.
Good, thank you. As you said earlier, my name is Jakomba Jabbie. I am a student at Al Akhawaini University studying artificial intelligence and robotization. I am honored to be part of you guys, to be part of this community, and to share my views, because when it comes to developing the world, when it comes to productivity, it starts with us as youth. So when you talk about AI, most of the people term it as something that's supposed to be very complicated or something that is not good to our human lives. But artificial intelligence in education is the most effective way to overcome all of the difficulties associated with developing or discovering new skills in education. And artificial intelligence also improves the efficiency of learning processes. It enables instructors or mentors to give students better, more informed and tailored services. So I'm gonna talk about some of the importance because it has a lot of importance, but I will narrow it down to the main ones, to the key ones. And I have narrowed this into three main sections because of the time. The first section is it makes the course material more interesting for students, because before you sit in a class, you don't have any idea of what the course material is, but now AI have made it easy through mobility solutions. Students can type courses online, read about it, and then they can have more knowledge way ahead the professor. And also students can be attentive in class, because when the material is more interesting, the students will not feel bored or whatsoever, so it will keep them on the track. And also it encourages open and honest conversations, because if you read the course material ahead, this will give you more benefit and more understanding of what the course material is, and it allows students to contribute and to give their honest opinions and to clarify whether an information is authentic or whether it is not. And now it's even easier, because if students don't understand things in the class, they can download videos online, they can join websites, and this metaverses that we are talking about, you people can increase the social network by adding a lot of features, by giving students chances to communicate with other students in Africa and to have a greater understanding of their course materials. So in the education sector is increasing at a constant pace, but artificial intelligence is like a revolution in the educational sector. When we talk about the COVID-19 outbreak, without AI, it would have been very difficult for students to have access to online classes, to even have access to education. So artificial intelligence is a revolution in the educational industry. And the majority of educational institutions, including primary, secondary, and post-secondary learning settings, are rapidly embracing AI, because for this change is to give better services to students. And educators too can use things like e-learning. That is, students can have access to books and PDFs, through e-materials, through the internet. So all these things makes education easier for students. There are several artificial intelligence applications in education, and that can benefit both the teachers and the students as well. And this can enable the students to gain more understanding of the technology around us, especially in developing countries, especially in Africa, because it's high time we revolutionize Africa to be more digital, to be more in the face of AI, because so many countries in the Western world think that Africans cannot do this, that we cannot succeed when it comes to digitalization, when it comes to artificial intelligence. So it is incumbent upon us as youth to bring this change, to make our generations different from the generations that came before us, to take our people from classical education and to bring them into the digital world, making learning and accessibility to educational materials more easy and effective for students. And that is by implementing e-learning materials, by implementing stuffs connected to artificial intelligence. Actually, artificial intelligence, it's like a house that contains all these things. We talk about digitalization, we talk about robotization, we talk about machine intelligence. All of these things are just under one branch called artificial intelligence. And it is high time we build societies, we build connections through digitalization, where Africans can meet one another, where students studying in different countries can have access to talk to other people too in different countries, to share their views and to help one another to establish better communities using artificial intelligence. And I will talk about some of the benefits that can change through using AI in education. One of these things that we can use is voice assistance. That is, we can build systems, we can build robots that can tutor students online, that can talk to them, that can listen to their problems and then give them solutions. And as well as tax organizations like the metaverses that you guys are talking here today, we can build societies where different students from different countries can have access to talk to one another, can have access to help each other, where students can post their problems that they're having in their respective fields, and someone can be there to help them who has greater understanding of that. And in today's educational system, large textbooks are almost non-existent because a lot of countries are establishing e-learning systems for improved reading. Textbook publishers are focused on giving students smaller study aids. But with AI, the availability of digital information and personalized learning are changing the procedures in the educational industry. The need for smart textbooks is steadily growing as more digital material. Smart contents allow students to access paperless resources and gain deeper understanding of the subject. And this helps students really well because now you don't have to be scared if you don't understand the material in the class, or if you don't understand the professor tutoring you or lecturing you. You can download the material you need online, and all these things were possible because of artificial intelligence. So one of the most important things that today I want to talk about is to allow a lot of girls to venture into STEM education, because when it comes to Africa, a lot of girls don't want to embark on STEM education because they term it as something tedious, as something difficult. I always say this to youngsters and to myself that it's better and it is very important to take on high challenges, because these are problems that surround us. And if we don't solve it, they are always going to be there as challenges. So we are the ones that are supposed to solve it. And the way the world is going, only one gender cannot help the world to succeed, cannot give the world the development it needs. If one country in the world is not developed, then all the other countries are not developed, because still now we will be parasites for one another. But for every country to be independent digitally, socially, and physically, in terms of every sector, when it comes to health, when it comes to education, when it comes to science, when it comes to technology, every country should be independent. And which means both males and females should come together as one gender to help that world to gain that change it needs. And this is by coming together and empowering small girls, empowering small boys, because when it comes to gender equality, when it comes to stuff like that, we should focus on both genders. We should focus on both males and females. And this is to allow young girls and young boys to venture into STEM education by creating platforms where they can showcase their talents, by giving them the aid they need, by teaching them and making STEM education more interesting for children in Africa, because they need it. And it is high time they understand and realize that they can be part of STEM in any area of STEM is their own decision to make. And this is why I came up with an initiative called Let's Catch Them Young, because when children are at a tender age, it's easier to mold their brain in a statistical way, in a way you want it to be. And if they grow up in that mindset, that free mindset that they can do it, it's challenging, it's difficult, it's time consuming, but at the end of the day, success and reward is what awaits them. So teaching youngsters mindset at a tender age can allow them to improve and give the development that their countries need. That is, we should empower girls, small girls, to venture into STEM education. We should empower small boys to enter into STEM education. We should create sensitizations in the communities, and not only the youngsters. You talk to your parents at home, you tell them what digitalization is. This is all there to make life easier for people on earth. Who can think of sending messages or communicating online hundreds of years ago? People don't know this. When you travel, it's very hard to even communicate with your family, with the people you left. But now everything is easier because of digitalization. And we should remove that negative environment around us that digitalization is suppressing our humanity. No, it is only increasing our productivity as humans, because machines are effective. They can do things that we cannot do because we design algorithms for them. We perfect them. But we as human beings, we are not perfect. Our analyzations most of the time are wrong. But you can build this, you can simulate this into a machine, and it can work for you the way you want it. So if we want our educational systems to succeed, if we want Africa to be a more productive continent, if we want to show to the developed world that yes, we as Africans, we can do this and we can change our country and we can be digitalized, I think we should pay more attention to artificial intelligence. We should pay more attention to computer science, to STEM education, and we should digitalize ourselves and leave our minds from that classical educational times and be more productive when it comes to digitalization. And I am wishing all the graduates a happy graduation. And I hope that what you have learned is not going to stop here, but you guys are going to put more efforts in it by expanding the communities, by bringing Africans together, promoting African culture and tradition, and showing the world that Africa has everything to offer, and we are going to do it. So I thank you all for having me, and I hope that you guys have learned something, and I hope to also learn a lot from all of you guys. So I am saying thank you, and it was an honor to be here.